What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And I've already shot the video that I'm going to share with you today, where I'm going to talk to you about the different types of clothing brand operators and how every clothing brand owner has a different set of strengths that they should be applying to their marketing strategies. How two different clothing brands can both become really successful using completely different strategies that are aligned with the operator's strengths. So I think you're really going to enjoy this video. Here it is. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. And if designs are something that you struggle with, I really recommend that you give them a shot. These are some of the best-selling designs on my website, and I got them all made through Design Crowd. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you, or simply use the discount code APPAREL when you post a project on Design Crowd. Marketing online in 2021 is really interesting because there's so many different approaches that you can take based on your own skill set, your own type of personality. And I want to get into what I mean by this. And I think that this is really going to clear up for you just some of your sort of scrambled thoughts on what it looks like to market online. You see brands like Nelk Boys, or huge Instagram followings, huge YouTube channels that basically don't have to spend a single cent on advertising. The way that they go about marketing their business is through organic reach. And that's because as creators themselves, they're really, truly talented at building up an audience and building up a following. For most people that I'm talking to here who want to grow a clothing brand, most of you aren't falling into that category right now. So, as much as you may want to build up this huge following of millions of followers, millions of subscribers on YouTube, it's not for everybody. Not everybody's really capable of doing that. And, growing up a clothing brand, you're focused on the business side, which is creating all of your products and trying to sell those products so that you can sustain a business. And on top of that, to build up, a YouTube following or build up an Instagram account is a whole different set of skills than just building up your clothing brand. So what I wanted to talk about here is really just sort of categorizing the different types of marketing channels that you can use so that you can sort of see what they look like and the types of skill sets that you need to have in order to pull them off. Because, I think that a lot of people have this fantasy in their mind of building up a YouTube following of 1 million subscribers, which is totally, totally possible for some people. But it's also really unrealistic for another group of people who just don't have that skill set. They don't have it inside of them to be front and center, to build up that following and to be offering value in that kind of way. So, the two different ways to look at this is basically, are you going to be the face of your brand? Are you going to be somebody who has it inside of them to offer an insane amount of either entertainment value through being funny, through creating videos that are like, really wild and out there where people come back again and again because they're being so entertained by it? Can you create videos where, they're really educational, sort of similar to the style that I'm doing right now as you're watching this video? Or are you really, not that kind of person who wants to get front and center and who wants to build up a following that way, or really has it inside of them? If you took an honest look at yourself and asked yourself, am I really capable of building up a following on any of these social media platforms where people would truly want to come back again and again to, take in what it is that I'm offering? On the other side of it, maybe you're the type of person who doesn't have this crazy charismatic personality that can really reel in thousands and thousands of followers, but maybe you're a really talented designer, like truly talented designer. Or maybe, you really have a fantastic idea for a clothing brand and the niche that it's going to go after. It's a real niche and you want to connect with them and you really want to build a true business where that's your passion. That's going to involve a whole different set of skills. That's going to involve you learning things like Facebook ads, understanding your return on ad spend, understanding the conversion rate, all of the little metrics inside of your clothing brand. And that's a whole different set of skills than trying to build up a huge following on social media. And the reason why I'm presenting this to you is because if you're trying to build a business, you want to get really clear as the business owner what your particular set of skills are.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
There's personality tests that you can take online that will give you really good insight into the types of natural personality traits that you have inside of you that you want to lean into more of. For example, for me, I'm much more of an open, creative mind than I am a very streamlined, straightforward, really rigid thinker. So when it comes to videos like this, I'm really able to come on here and share ideas and, be kind of expressive and creative, doing exactly what I'm doing here in the exact way that you're seeing it right now. Whereas, my brother, who's an engineer and much more structured in his thinking, but very fast thinking like a computer, is much better at putting together things like Excel spreadsheets and, analyzing data and things like that. So getting clear on that, like what are you naturally disposed to do? And this is a word in philosophy, disposition. A good example for this is a knife is naturally disposed to cut things. That's what it's made to do. That's just its natural disposition. A fork is naturally made to use to eat with it, right? And you want to be thinking about yourself and look at yourself and say, what am I naturally disposed to do? LeBron James, natural born athlete. Can other people that aren't as talented and gifted also make the NBA? Yes. But was LeBron James a special case where he was born with just sort of the gifts and tools to become a really, really good NBA player? Yes, right? And you want to really be honest about yourself when it comes to your own skills, your own strengths, because that's what's going to allow you to decide when it comes to marketing your brand and growing your brand, the areas that you want to focus on the most and how you're going to grow your brand moving forward. Different brands become successful, an equal amount of success, growing their brands in two completely different ways. Some brands will become multi-million-dollar brands through the advertising itself, and because they're really good logistically at working their distribution and understanding exactly the types of ads to put in front of their customers and how to work their conversion rates and convert people through their website and things like that. And other brands will become equally successful and make multi-million dollars through building up a YouTube channel, making entertainment videos, right? Where you're just like literally out just doing stupid stuff because you're just that type of person and that's the type of value that you can offer. And then through that YouTube channel, you're selling all of your merch and you're making millions of dollars. Both types of brands are getting to the same result in different types of ways. And it's not to judge one or the other as being good or bad. You just want to really think about what you have to offer your clothing brand and then really focus on what your strengths are and just work on your strengths as much as possible. And don't worry too much about your weaknesses and trying to build up this YouTube channel or whatever. If that's not who you are and what you want to do and what you're good at, don't worry about that. Focus on your strengths and really lean into your strengths because that's what's going to allow you to get to the result much quicker. So if you look at me, the way that I've really built my clothing brand and this YouTube channel is almost entirely based on intuition. And I think that that's because my strength as a clothing brand owner is more creative and psychological. I really feel like I have a good grasp on consumer behavior, why people do the things that they do, why they buy the things that they buy. And that's why a lot of the content on this channel, I talk about things like how important social proof is. Getting a lot of people to wear your clothing, showing that off because of the perception that that creates and the impact that that will have on your clothing brand, right? Those types of things, to me, come naturally. That's also the type of thing that I'm interested in, that I love doing. So it's a perfect sort of synergy working there to help me grow my own clothing brand, whereas other people might be a little bit more technical. They might dive into the numbers a bit more and get more analytical with the data, and they don't have these sort of creative ideas around the ways that people are thinking about their clothing brand and things like that. So this is something that I thought I would just give you so that you can start thinking about your own clothing brand in this way. And I think that this will have a huge impact on you because it'll get you to really stop trying to do things that just aren't aligned with who you really are as the clothing brand owner and the way that you want to take your clothing brand. And maybe this will allow you to, sort of go the route that you feel you have the most amount of strength in, where you can actually start killing it for your own brand. And maybe that's advertising. Maybe it's starting up a YouTube channel. Maybe it's growing a TikTok account because you're really good on TikTok. Whatever it is, focus on those strengths as the clothing brand owner, as the marketer, and you're going to notice much better results than trying to do things that you just have no interest in, that you're not really good at, and that are going to come to you as a struggle. So I really hope that helps.
Hey guys, Jack here from Modern Streets Apparel. Having completed the Clothing Brands Marketing System course, I'd highly recommend it to anyone who's looking to start a brand or has a brand already but maybe isn't getting the sales and growth that they want to see. I did the course myself after my initial concept wasn't quite strong enough. I reassessed the concept, changed it, moved on for the better, and since have done close to 600 sales in about 10 months. So highly recommend it if you're thinking of getting things moving.